You can't refresh a feed in the US right now without seeing one word: Ubisoft. It's trending on X, it's the top of Reddit, and it's the lead story on every financial news outlet from Bloomberg to the Wall Street Journal. But for the first time in 30 years, the conversation isn't about a new game. It's about a slow-motion car crash that has finally reached its impact point. Why is Ubisoft the most talked about topic in America today? Because we are witnessing the potential end of an era. We are watching the Ubisoft Formula, a style of game design that defined the last 2 decades, suffocate under the weight of corporate mismanagement, a collapsing stock price, and a fan base that has finally reached its breaking point. This isn't just about a bad launch or a delayed trailer. This is a story of a family-run empire facing a hostile takeover, a creative identity crisis, and a desperate $1.2 billion gamble with Tencent that might have just changed the gaming industry forever. To understand why Ubisoft is trending, you have to look at the numbers, and they are ugly. As we sit here in December 2025, Ubisoft stock has hit levels we haven't seen since the early 2010s. We're talking about a company that was once valued as a titan of Europe now being priced like a struggling mid-tier studio. Investors in the US have spent the last 6 months dumping UBI shares. Why? Because the safe bets stopped being safe. For years, Ubisoft relied on a predictable cycle: release an Assassin's Creed, a Far Cry, and a Tom Clancy title every few years, populate them with towers and icons, and collect the microtransaction revenue. But in 2024 and 2025, that machine broke. Star Wars Outlaws, a literal license to print money, underperformed expectations. Skull and Bones became a punchline rather than a quad-A pioneer. And then came the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows. When your biggest heavy hitter gets pushed back into 2025, the market loses blood. The Ubisoft reset we are seeing right now is a direct result of Wall Street losing faith in the Guillemot family's ability to lead without a radical change. This brings us to the biggest news of the week: the Tencent deal. For years, the Guillemots fought off a hostile takeover from Vivendi. They wanted to keep Ubisoft French, independent, and family-controlled. But 2025 forced their hand. The rumors circulating right now, the ones driving all that US search traffic, suggest that the family has finally struck a deal with the Chinese megagiant Tencent to take the company private. But it's the structure of this deal that has everyone talking. The creation of Vantage Studios is the biggest internal shift in gaming history. By splitting their core IP, Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six, and Far Cry, into a separate, semi-autonomous unit partially funded by Tencent, Ubisoft is effectively admitting that the old way of managing dozens of global studios under one rigid editorial board is dead. They are trying to lean out, to become more agile, but at what cost? In the US, the conversation is dominated by fears of corporate homogenization. Will these games lose their soul to satisfy a boardroom in Shenzhen? Or will Tencent's deep pockets finally give developers the time they need to polish games beyond the Ubisoft Polish we've grown to mock? You can't talk about Ubisoft trending in the USA without talking about the culture war. Ubisoft has found itself at the center of a massive online firestorm regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows. Regardless of where you stand on the historical accuracy of Yasuke or the creative choices made by the Quebec team, the impact of that discourse is undeniable. It has become a lightning rod for broader frustrations about modern gaming. In the US, Ubisoft has become the poster child for what some vocal segments of the community call consultant-driven design. Whether that's a fair criticism or an oversimplification, it has affected their bottom line. The delay to February 2025 wasn't just to fix bugs. It was a tactical retreat. They knew that if Shadows launched in a state that gave critics more ammunition, it wouldn't just be a bad game launch. It would be the final nail in the coffin for the brand's reputation. They are currently spending millions in a PR rehabilitation tour, trying to convince the American gamer that they are returning to their player-first roots. But after the AA game comments from their CEO, the trust gap is wider than ever. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the Ubisoft Reckoning. If you want more updates on the Tencent deal and the future of Assassin's Creed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. What do you think? Is Ubisoft's best days behind them? Or is this just the beginning of their greatest comeback? Let me know in the comments below.